Tugenda kwogera ku oil and gas projects kubanga kino kikulu kuwanga ate eno resource nene nnyo egenda okujja Uganda weeri iteeke awantu ku level ndala. So abantu abasinga
tugibawe mu Luganda oba mu Luzungu
byonna tutabule
kale waba basinga ku TikTok wano
Baluganda
muko naye ate waliwo bali ba corporates betwagala ate okutuusako obubaka aboogera Luzungu
netukuba n'Oluganda. So let me start with English. Right now, oil and gas is very critical for the development of this country.
Ate ensonga eno enkulu nnyo because ojjukirako emabega kwawo President gayogera ku nsonga ya oil yagamba government ya NRM weyajja mu buyinza mu 1986 oil eno yali discovered nga bamanyi oil weeri naye government yali terina capacity mu ngeri zonna including human capacity or human resource capacity oba skills capacity y'okugi extractinga na kugimanaginga. So President Nasalao as a policy to government empya eyakajja egenda twala akadde okumala kusomesa bana Uganda tufune ba experts meno area abamala okutusoboseza okulaba nti tu extracting resource yaffe yo bulungi nnyo efugimanaginga nilisobola okukijjamu gain okuyamba eggwanga lyaffe oba okutwala economy yaffe ku level ndala. So netulindamu kwawo kitute ebbanga ddene before the government made that decision of entering into, of course, the agreements and eventually venturing into the real actual oil exploration. So nsonga nkulu nnyo. Yes sir.
Now I'm going to give you one of the critical areas of oil and gas. Now recently the Minister of Energy, Ruth Nankabira, has given us what's happening, the recent developments in the oil and gas sector. Now I'm just going to give you a few critical issues. The number one critical issue is the investments that are going on right now. This country has received about $20 billion in investments. Remember, about 2 years ago, our government plus the partners sat down and signed what we call a final investment decision, which was worth more than $20 billion. Now, these are the major things that you need to look out as a citizen. Number one, we have what we call the Kabale industrial, the industrial facility or the industrial area. This facility is designed to process and also add value to oil-related products. For example, petrochemical industries. And then on besides of that, there's an airport. According to the document that was released by the Minister of Energy, the airport is 95% complete. That means that by 2025, which is the national oil day to produce oil, we expect planes to be landing on the runway to deliver project equipment. You know, so it's 95% in progress, and plus the industrial area, the industrial area, covered industrial area. So what's the impact of that? That means that the aviation industry has to grow. You understand? So it's no longer going to be that you only have Entebbe International Airport. We have Kabale International Airport. That means that you can fly from all over the world and land, but mainly those that are the aim of this airport is to target oil projects and people that are related to oil, but also has benefits to the people of Bunyoro region. You understand? It's going to develop the aviation industry to create more jobs in the aviation industry and also help in logistical support and supply of heavy equipment that will be used to, you know, construct some of the projects like the refinery. Then another major project that you'll be looking at is the pipeline. According to EEA Corp, which is the company that is in charge of owning, or that owns the pipeline, the projects that are going on in Tanzania, they have already started. They have done what we call the pipes. There's a process they're doing. There's a plant in Tanzania where they're putting on. It's like a thermal flask. There's something that I put. Remember, our oil is a bit waxy.
Yes. So it's crude. The crude one is very heavy.
Very heavy and waxy. So it's like.
In fact, the transportation of the crude will involve heating the oil within the pump. It's pumped at a particular temperature for it to be able to be transmitted from one point to another.
So 95, I think, like according to that document, about 99% of compensation is done. The land is available, compensations have been done. So the projects are already beginning in Tanzania, and then in the district of Kikube, district of Sembabule, they're also beginning to construct structures that will allow the pipeline. Now, this pipeline, the most important thing that should be knowing is it's going to be worth more than $3 billion. We have project partners, Sino, we have our company that is holding the shares, and so this pipeline is going to create hundreds of jobs for Ugandans. And I saw that document. It shows that 60% to about 40 to 60% of the employees are Ugandans. So that means that
that's now the other aspect of the agreement that has to do with the local content.
Yes, local content.
The ring fencing of that.
And then also the government is also reviewing the national content policy, because there are other things that could be missing, but we'll wait for the policy that will be coming out. So the benefit of this oil is that we shall be able to export crude oil to the international market, and then we shall earn millions and millions of dollars from these exports. Of course, jobs will be created. Experts will be needed to make sure that they manage the pipeline, the heating, and everything, because, like I said, the oil is waxy. And also, our brothers and sisters in Tanzania will be earning money because we shall be sharing the pipeline revenues. We'll be sharing the money. So another project that should be thinking that's very crucial is the refinery. Now, previously we had General Electric. At one time we had the Russians. All of them didn't take much interest, and the agreements that were signed were not renewed. So we had to get another investor from United Arab Emirates, which is Alpha. The company is called Alpha MBM. They're investing millions of dollars in the refinery, and that refinery will be located in the same area in Hoima, and that refinery is going to create thousands and thousands of jobs, and also create auxiliary. The impact is going to be huge economically. It's going to be
the other
auxiliary jobs,
auxiliary service providers in the whole chain.
The community, the suppliers of food, the contractors, security, repairing and all that, machinery and all that. So it's going to be worth more than $3 billion. The Honorable Dr. Eli Karuhanga, Senior Counsel and the founding partner of KA, has spoken very, very, very broadly on this subject of the impact of this oil exploration to the economy, particularly the aspect of local content that you talk about. Yes, please. So imagine having an investment of $3 billion will be actually so far the investment that we have is the largest investment that we have ever had in the entire history of Uganda. There are projects that we have, but we have not really hit a billion dollar single project. So having such an enormous project it's adding much value to the economy. So once we have the refinery, we shall be able to produce products, gas.
But I don't know what is happening in our universities and institutions of learning, particularly I think universities and high institutions of learning. and then some of those polytechnic, technical, tertiary technical institutions. But I remember when I was in the university, there was a wave within the universities and higher institutions of learning, a wave of introduction of oil and gas as a course unit being taught, particularly in the law school where I was. I don't remember whether it was my second or so year that particular course was introduced. And I remember, it was one of those very desirable ones. It was an elective, but many students, many lawyers actually went for it. I hope that we are taking some effort to train, because remember we said that this government was aware of the existence of oil and gas as a resource here. But we took some time to begin to actually explore and extract this oil, because at that point in time, in fact, the whole ministry had about, I think, 1 or 2 people that had some sort of knowledge in oil exploration. We had to take deliberate steps to train our staff, and not here in Uganda. Many of them were posted outside Uganda to be trained, particularly in this area.
Some were sent to Trinidad and Tobago, Algeria,
So because of that deliberate government effort, I think we have attained some level of human resource.
Of course, on the highest level of expertise, there's a gap, because we don't have institutions that are training people that can manage and run the refinery, technical expertise. But I think we are gaining experience. One of the
and even there is that hands-on knowledge. I believe those that will have been employed, some of them will learn on site.
It's actually a deliberate policy to transfer knowledge, technology transfer knowledge to the local population or the indigenous population. But the Chigumba Petroleum Institute was one of the pioneer institutes that was designed to train Ugandans in basic skills of petroleum, like some level of welding, some level of technical expertise on handling equipment. But however, the oil and gas partners have also
handling, assembling, repairs, and all that of equipment being used in these projects.
So oil and gas, our oil and gas partners have also been investing in training, especially in high level.
That's Total and
Sinop, some at one time, Talo, so they train in high level or welding, logistics, driving of heavy equipment, vehicles to deliver oil and gas equipment. So they have been training, but that level of skill that we need to run is the facilities like the refinery.
Yes,
that we're still missing. There's a labor gap, but maybe they'll keep on training.
No, what is of interest to me again in this area is because the event of oil exploration, particularly in the Bunyoro sub-region, has sort of come with a wave of problems in particularly land disputes. There's a wave of rise of conflicts, particularly relating to land in the area. Unfortunately, I think the whole of that Bunyoro sub-region, which has Hoima, there is that new district after Hoima. Chikube. It has Chikube, yes, it has this part of, as you go towards Mubende, those areas. There is, in fact,
Masindi.
Up till last year, there was only one high court serving that entire region. We had the high court of Uganda at Masindi. Then last year, I think judiciary created the circuit of the high court in Hoima. But there is only one judge there. Yet the geographical geographical coverage of the Hoima circuit is quite broad. And there's one judge who because of the volume, when the judiciary split the circuit, the new circuit of Hoima from Masindi, several of the cases that were in Masindi High Court that came from Hoima and some of those districts, Chikube, had to be taken with the judge. So the judge resumed the session of the circuit of Hoima with the already a backlog of cases from this side, from Masindi. So we have that problem. I think the judiciary is going to need to post another judge, apart from Justice Ruhanga, who is there. The workload there is quite immense because the geographical coverage of that circuit is huge, and yet there is this wave of increase in land conflicts in that area. I think because, with the Hoima now being given a city status and the rise,
the wealthiest part of Uganda,
now, people are really investing very heavily.
The largest GDP of Uganda is coming from
Hoima.
$20 billion.
From nowhere there's been an increase in the price of value of land in the area. Hoima those days was not very, just like those cattle corridor areas in Chiruhura and the Kazo. Land was not something that was transacted in a lot. But recently, there is a lot of volume of transactions in land there, which has come with conflicts in land. So I think the judiciary, those of us who are involved in land management, not only the judiciary, but the Ministry of Lands, the attendant registrar of lands in that area, the line registrar of lands in the area, I think he's seated at Masindi, and then those in the judiciary, we really have to see to it that we step up our game and we are more effective in the way we handle land, particularly land conflicts. Of course, the blow in the economy in the area comes with also several other conflicts, such as the volume of transactions, simple contracts, torts, nuisances, and circumstances that give rise to writs in law have increased in the area. So we are going to have to really up our game in as far as the management of conflict, not only in land, but also in the other aspects of life. We really have to see that we do better. Yeah, there's only one police station somewhere around the town, Hoima CPS something, that serves very, very large geographical area. From Hoima police station, the next post, I don't know where it is, but I think policing also the police has to work on how they are really policing the area. But we hope that Ugandans will be trained to first of all identify the opportunities that this oil exploration is coming with. Equip yourselves with the knowledge, skills to be able to participate meaningfully in the sector. Council, is there anything that you wish to add?
This is what I would like to caution many Ugandans. This is a resource that's going to only last for 25 years. But there's going to be a new class or a new breed of Ugandans who are going to be billionaires or millionaires, who will benefit from the oil and gas. So what am I trying to bring out is that prepare yourself, create a company, create a service, create a skill, and register yourself on the National Talent Register at the Petroleum Authority, and also the national the petroleum where you can register yourself.
Is it Uganda Petroleum Authority or something?
The Petroleum Authority of Uganda. There's a national content. The national talent where individuals can register, and then there's also where you can register your companies. Engage in oil and gas activities. Prepare yourself, because we don't want you to miss out on being a billionaire or a millionaire. Trust me, there's going to be a group of Ugandans, a class of Ugandans that's going to break out, that are going to be filthy rich because they have grabbed the opportunities. you're going to see Ugandans owning private jets. You will see Ugandans owning expensive homes, mansions, owning expensive cars. Why? Because they are tapping directly from the oil and gas. I can give an example. There are companies that are already, Ugandan companies that are already providing services in logistics, logistics in supply equipment, subcontractors. So they're already earning millions or billions of Ugandan shillings. And then, please, this is a national resource. You should take interest in knowing what's going on, so that when this resource is abused or misused, remember all this money that is going to be collected. The money is going to the petroleum fund, and you know that this country has a bad record on transparency. So far, so good. They have done exceptionally. Actually, Uganda is one of the best performing countries in terms of managing oil and gas resources. But who knows what's going to happen? We may be the next Nigeria, where ministers siphon money from the petroleum fund. You understand? So as citizens, you need to take interest and know the rights, or make sure that you have the right information about what's happening in oil and gas, so that you can criticize government.
On the issue of transparency and corruption, I'm first of all very happy that we are now in a season of time that the president has decided to up his game on corruption. Of course, I also know that every time the president comes up with an initiative, a noble initiative such as the war against corruption, as he calls it, there are always those in society that use it as an occasion to witch hunt political enemies here and there. Such as, very recently, our patron of the Patriotic League of Uganda put it to Ugandans clearly, and I believe him, that the Honorable Michael Mawanda Maranga, who is the directorate, in charge of the directorate of mobilization in PLOU, is currently on remand on charges of abuse of office, so on and so forth. Rather, I think diversion of public funds and related charges. But when you look at the charge sheet, I don't want to comment on it, but at least from the tweet, the guidance of our patron was that, and I believe him, that the Honorable Michael Mawanda Maranga is a political prisoner who has been witch hunted by enemies of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. So it is very unfortunate that in Uganda, every time there is a noble cause, such as now the fight against corruption, there are always those that take occasion to achieve other political goals. But it's our prayer and hope that we will work on, first of all, corruption, but also aspects of state capture, because it is very important. We have a head of state who has been around for close to about 40 years now, and has grown old with the time. And with age comes sometimes compassion and empathy. And when the head of state is of that age, sometimes his will drive of life is not as it used to be when he was much younger. And sometimes there are those that have proximity to the president who also take that opportunity to do what they call state capture. They because of their proximity to the head of state, sometimes tend to sell to him ideas, selfish ideas, and the projects that he put on hold, that circuit, so frustrate the good intentions of government. You have seen recently we had some people that paraded themselves, the president, and a committee they call PASAID, presidential, I think it is called Presidential Advisory Committee on Exports and the Industrial Development, that say they have come to help Ugandans do sensitization to farmers on good agricultural practices. They say we have come to help Ugandans to do research to help them identify what possible products, agri-products we could make from our agricultural produce here in Uganda. We have come to help Ugandans to increase our exports to external markets. They say we are going to do market research in those external market destinations. We will appoint, they call them market or trade ambassadors to the various markets. They have appointed one in the UK, they have one in South Africa, Serbia, and several of these other states. What these people are doing is a replica of what former ministries of government are supposed to be doing. I think that PASAID is an illegal outfit that really is carried along by, or the initiative of people whose role is not noble. They have come to siphon lots of money from our national coffers. As you saw last year, they tried to get about 37 to 40 billions on the budget, which I think Parliament dismissed, but the Speaker in one way found that money back on the budget. Right now, as we speak, there was a debate in Cabinet. Cabinet is working to approve about 10 billion Ugandan shillings to this institution called PASAID. Now, PASAID, which they say is advising government on, they say agricultural produces, agricultural practices. Then they talk about, I think, conducting research on agricultural products. They say we are going to help increase Ugandan exports. There are already committees and rather units and departments within the Ministry of Agriculture that do these things. There are committees and units within the Ministry of Trade that do the same things that PASAID is doing. So always, once there is a noble cause like this going on, there are always those, within the public life that use their proximity to the president to try to take the country away from its rightful course. So we pray that there will be transparency, and then let's have the formal institutions, if the statutes provide for formal institutions to help manage this oil exploration project, let's allow those projects to work. Let's allow the Petroleum Authority to work. Let's allow all the, I don't know which other one is there?
No.
UNOC to work. Let's not hijack the work or the activities of these formal organs or institutions that have been put in place to manage. Because when you hijack them, you see the problem with the institutions that are not formal is that it is very difficult to hold them to account. You can imagine, we have the executive, which comprises of the head of state, it has a vice, it has the ministers, both cabinet and the state ministers. In Uganda, we have about 32 or thereabout cabinet ministers and about 50 or so state ministers. The total close to about 85, 90 ministers in all the ministries. But you have an organization, an institution that is outside the formal structure of what constitutes the executive, okay? And they purport to be doing works that are supposed to be done by formal ministries of government. So let's be vigilant and ensure that these formal institutions that have been put in place to manage our oil exploration are allowed to work without being hijacked. Thank you so dearly. Have a blessed night.